let's start with this cluelessness worry. That's a worry I think that many of you may have had at some point in their lives, but it was formulated for academic purposes by the philosopher Lenzen 20 years ago, 21 years ago, as a problem for consequentialism. Right? Consequentialism is the school in moral philosophy that says that how morally good an action is, that depends on its consequence. Right? If it has good consequences, then we should do it. If it has the best consequence, then we should do it. If it has the bad consequence, then we shouldn't do it. So, and my colleague Hilary Greaves, who's also a background in philosophy of physics, but then really turned to effective altruism and existential risks, gave a very nice exposition of this worry in 2016, and I will mostly discuss her work because it's very instructive. She first distinguishes between an objective and a subjective version of this worry, and I start with the objective one. And the objective, the worry, the cluelessness worry about objective consequence betterness, right? C betterness is consequence betterness, is that we can never have even the faintest idea for any given pair of acts, A1, A2, whether or not A1 is objectively C better than A2. So, and C better just means has better consequence. So the worry is that it sounds more complicated than it is, right? The worry is that for any two actions that I can choose between, I can never know which one has the better consequences. Right? I don't know, should I help this person or that person? Should I stay in bed a bit longer? Should I get up early or so? I can never know what is better, what is morally better. And actually, that may sound absurd, this worry, but Hilary Greaves thinks actually that this worry is true. We can never have this faintest idea, and why? So this is her a long passage that explains it very well. That's why I quote it in full. The argument for this cluelessness worry stems from the observation that all relevant consequences, that the relevant consequences include all consequences of the actions in question throughout all time. In attempting actually to take consequences into account in practice, we usually focus on those effects, let us call them foreseeable effects, that we take ourselves to be able to foresee with a reasonable degree of confidence. These may or may not be any intuitive sense direct effects, or may not be close to the point of action in time and or space. And while we are arguably correct in thinking that we are justified in being reasonably confident in our predictions of these effects, any choice of one act A1 over another A2 inevitably has countless additional consequences that our calculation takes no account of. A butterfly flapping its wings in Texas may cause a hurricane in Bangladesh. So too may my telling a white lie, refraining from telling that lie, moving or not moving my hand. A hurricane will certainly affect which other butterflies flap their wings or which other agents move their hands in which ways. And so the effects will ripple down the millennia. So right, the idea is that whatever I do now, it will have effects for what happens, like for the weather a couple of weeks down the road somewhere else on the world. And that weather in turn will influence what happens there. And so ultimately, everything that happens like in the forward light cone of here right now will be causally influenced by what I'm doing now. And I can't know all that, of course. And so I can't know which is the best act to do now. Even for two acts that I want to compare, I don't know which one will have the better consequence, because the consequences are huge and I can't overlook them all. Right? So that's the worry.